Hi guys, welcome to my home and my studio for the day. Today we are doing part 2 of a 3-part series on how to be more photogenic, and that's Kitten. I might have to get her to move before we do the rest of it. But today we're focusing more on your body when you take a photo. So where do you want your arms and legs to be so that you look thinner, and how to stand, posture, a little bit on camera angles. So let's get started. One of the things that you'll come across quite a bit on strategies for looking slimmer in photos is stand up tall. So I used to do that. When I first started, I thought, I'm just gonna pull myself up taller because I'm 5'1" and I wanna look taller in photos, and that's the right way to do it, right? No, there is a right way to stand up taller. So when you stand up really tall like this, you tighten up everything down here and you close yourself off, and that adds more width to yourself. So what you want to do, I'll show you from the side, take a little bit of a wider stance and just stick your booty out a little bit. And I know it seems odd and it doesn't feel natural and you think you look weird, but I'll show you from the front, it really does not look weird. So you take a little bit of a wider stance and just stick your booty out and stand up tall, and you've opened yourself up right here, and it takes away some of that width from tightening up. Also, what we want to do with our legs, we'll start with just our legs so that we can move on sort of strategically. So when you're facing the camera, you want to do this little trick, but when you're to the side, that turning to the side can slim your whole profile a little bit. So I'll show you, when you turn to the side, you want to put your weight on the foot that is furthest from the camera. And you can open yourself up a little bit, point that front foot toward the camera, do that little trick with your backside there, and it makes a huge difference if I have my weight on this foot. Now if I shift it to this foot, you can see how much weight and width that added to my profile. So we'll shift it back, weight away from the camera, and you can see what a slimming effect that had. Now another trick that you can do, basically any way you can open up space and divide your body into separate parts for the camera is going to help you. So you can do the little knee bend. I'm wearing heels, so it's not quite so easy. But what that does is it gives you a little bit of an open space right there. So even though we're taking our weight on the foot that is closest to the camera, because it's not so easy to do it with the foot that is furthest from the camera, you can see that's a little bit more awkward. Even though you're putting your weight close to the camera, you're opening yourself up right there. So that's giving you a little bit more space to compensate for the added width right here. Moving on, we always want our waist to look slimmer. So of course, just like we saw, when you turn yourself a little bit, that's going to slim your profile. Obviously, when you're facing the front, your widest part is facing forward. So another trick that we can do is to play with our hands, play with our accessories. If you have a clutch, hold something right here. That's going to hide slim. And then also, hands are so easy. Put them in your pockets, put them on your waist, and what we've got here is we can take a look at me right here, and when we put our hands on the waist, it adds a little bit of like a color blocking type thing that we talk about with clothes. Basically, it divides up your waist into a smaller section and your eye focuses more on right here. So that's a handy tip. Talk about arms now. For your arms, if I stand here with great posture, just like we talked about, and my arms are to the sides, just relax them. Feels natural, you know, feels like I could take a photo like this and it would be fine. But when our arms are to our side and there's not much space there, look at how much wider it makes this area of my body look. So if I just relax them and add a little bit more space between my elbows and my waist, look at what that does to slim my body. So it doesn't feel quite so natural to hike up your elbows, and you want to make sure that your shoulders stay down so that you're not doing that and hiding your neckline. But hike up your elbows a little bit, add a little bit of space. Another easy trick to do is hand on the hip. Just get one of them on your hip at least. That's helpful. It creates that space there. The other thing to remember with your arms, if you are facing toward the camera, your arm goes flat. Even if you have nice arms, your arm is flat, and flat equals wider. That's not good, that's not what we want. So if you're facing toward the camera, you want to just lift that body part up. That's why most of the time you see when we are standing to the side, there's a little bit of lift in the leg. If you lift up that body part, it goes from super wide to a little bit of a slimming effect. And you want to drop that shoulder down. See what that does with the lighting and opening ourselves up, creating that space right here. Play with your hands, you know, put a hand, you know, touching your hair or touching your face. And when you do things with your hands and you gesture in photos, you want to remember that it's a soft gesture, because hand on your hip like this looks pretty harsh in a photo. But if you notice, the models will do something more like this, where they're not putting any weight on their hands. If they're going like this, they're not, like, say they're lying or something, they're not scrunching up and putting all their weight on it. They're just doing something like this. And so if you want to play with your collar, you want to just use your fingertips to grip and make a gesture. You don't want to actually be doing something like this, because that takes away, people notice the tension in your body rather than a beautiful photo. So while it may not seem so natural when you're taking photos to touch your face, or, you know, something so light, if you've got a detail fringe or something and you want to touch it, you don't want to like hold it and grab it, but just delicately touch it. And it will, when you go back and you look at your photos, it will look more natural than the alternative. So that's it. I think that's enough for today. Taking photos by yourself, it's a lot to remember, it's a lot to work on. So if you have any wonderful tips, let me know. I love to hear from you guys. Also, any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And if you enjoyed this video, hop on over to thelexicon.co. Follow my blog. I do more than just videos, and I think you'll like it. So hop on over to thelexicon.co if you're watching this on YouTube, and remember to like and follow.